All right, all right. We are live. As you all can see, the title, thumbnail. We had it today. Now, this is something I got a brief delay this morning. A late breakfast. Either I eat with breakfast after or before. A little delayed. But man, I've been waiting for this conversation. Every now and then I have one of those conversations. I put it on if you follow me, I put a post out. This is going to be one of those conversations that I anticipate having. Like, this is something that's pressing to me. I had a couple titles in my mind on like, how will we go about this? And this earbud out my ear. And let me tell you something. What's going on from Snellville, Georgia? These Georgia people representing. Good morning, everybody coming in. I'm glad y'all here. See a lot of familiar faces. And let me tell you, we got to have a conversation, y'all. Anybody who follow me, I got this thing going last year, right before the season. Decula, Georgia representing. A lot of people don't know where Decula at. It's Gwinnett County, Indianapolis, Indiana. I had somebody all the way from, England? Got people from all over checking out the show here. I appreciate everybody coming through. Because I've been trying to communicate the best I can on what's coming. Like, I feel a lot of things, and it may sound like a conspiracy. It may sound like excuses or whatever. Last year, it was just a lot of excitement. A lot of stuff was hidden behind the hype. Like, a lot of things that was going on, we couldn't really tell because it was a lot of excitement. Rappers on the sideline, actors, well off was booming, just pumping out videos, and Colorado was winning. And so it was a lot of things that we really couldn't pay attention to, but it was just a lot of energy. You couldn't really tell where it was coming from. And I warned everybody. I said, this year, they already know what Colorado is capable of doing. Appreciate that. We got a lot of good content creators. Everybody have their own thing. I think when you say make sense, I try to take a common sense approach to break down topics, almost as if I would be an actual content creator from us. Like, if I was doing the news, how would I do it? I'm not doing it like an anchor, but more like a personal commentary. But I do really want to get to the what's really going on behind the scenes. That's what I do. That's my area. I don't break down film. I like watching film breakdown. I don't do like long, extensive breakdowns of people background, doing interviews and things like that. I appreciate everybody. I don't know everybody, but I do know it's a lot of people. I appreciate that. I actually played football all the way up through college. I actually played. A lot of people know that's why I like Coach Prime. I actually played baseball as well, so it was always a juggle between the two. And I was pulled one way. You should focus on football. You should focus on baseball. Thank God I didn't do basketball. But I relate to that. I always related to Coach Prime because we always played both sports. I hit from the left side of the plate. I actually hit from both sides of the plate. Doing it throw with both hands, primarily through my right. So I understand a lot. And I'm from Atlanta. He played in Atlanta, so that I kind of supported him from that. And once he became a coach, down in Jackson State, I began to kind of take notice and watch what he's doing. I didn't have no opinion. He can't coach. So I've been doing this thing, but from who I am as a person, I really look at what's really, really good. I don't really take sides. I support Colorado. I like the underdog story. I like Coach Prime. I think what really gets me is when things get really weird, and I got to start thinking about why is it weird? Why do you treat one person different than the other? Okay, we can always go black, but then the black people did the same thing to him. So I can't just lean on the black because they was about to crucify him down in Jackson State. So I got to look at the deeper context of it. And that's what you get from me. especially when we talking about what we're going to talk about today and some of the other stuff we talked about. So if you really want that angle, definitely like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hear, because I do provide that perspective, and that's my forte. And you see the title, why is college football afraid of Colorado? Let's take a rewind back. If you all been here on these lives, y'all heard me make some bold comments, and I stand by them. I said Colorado way back, and everybody was saying, hey, they 10-2, that's the floor. I said that back in January, right? Once I saw the players coming in. And I told y'all why. And one of the reasons why I saw the Colorado being there is because the type of players they were bringing on the defensive ball. We already knew they can put up points. The garbage line last year put up points, guys. But see, that's my stand. They got to use, as bad as that line was, Colorado was scoring 30, 40 points a game. Do y'all not remember that? Comments. Do y'all not remember that? And that's why, I didn't have a channel back then when it was at JSU. But I would have said it because that's what Greg said about just putting it out there. And they were so busy, complaining about whatever they complain about. They didn't want to show gratitude, anything he did. Oh, we already done that before. He's not the only one. We had good players before. And they were steady doing that. So y'all really don't realize the man got your new facilities. He got y'all new everything. He putting that money in. And it's like, okay, yeah, chill out. And Colorado got to be aware of the same thing, because it's very possible within a couple of years. I've been saying that. And I don't live off of wishful thinking. I gave y'all my theory on why he could leave Colorado. One, the only thing he had left after this year was going to be his daughter. She gone. And also his boy's going to be in the NFL. He's the type of parent, he want to be there for his kids, especially to walk them through that. And he's going to have to split his focus. See, when him coaching at Colorado, his focus is one and the same, because both his kids are there and he's coaching, so it makes sense. So we quite haven't seen what it's going to feel like. I want to be focused on my boys, and I still got to focus on this team, and that's my only connection. So if I think it's a possibility that he don't do not just Colorado, but just coaching very long. Plus, he had health issues, and that's just the reality. And I speak reality. I don't speak hate and all that. So, like I said, when I was looking at, I said, what's going on? And like I said, when we started getting these players in, I started analyzing with y'all, like we're doing here, why I said, not gambling, fantasy league, like why Colorado's going to win. And I started seeing the pieces on the defense, and then we made the adjustments on that makeshift line. So they said all they got to do is get Shador the time to get the ball. He got the weapons at receiver. We had decent running backs. McCaskill was coming back. Dylan Edwards was coming back. It's going to be their second year. We knew what they could do. So we was like, boom. Then we had this crazy poof. All of them left in the same week, within a week. Everybody panicked. Oh, my God. Then I was like, well, I knew we was looking at a couple more running backs. And I kept saying, we get that boy Amos, and then Hayden was coming. I said, we get both of them. They just gave us the conference. Y'all remember that? Anybody, you can verify. I said, they just gave us the conference. And I said, we mess around and get at least one of those. We get two to running linebackers when we had Hill Green, and we had the other one that was at where was he at? It was Charlotte, and there was another school. Both of the line in Tennessee. I said, we get them, they gonna just give us the conference, right? I said, that's gonna be ridiculous. Because we're in overkill mode at that point. I had already established a 10-2 floor. Once we got some of these players, everybody starts saying, we 10-2 with 2 times. I've been said it. We was really already there. I said, we're right where we at now. We're in overkill mode. We got more than what we need, right? Because we got the depth we need for injury. Right. He's at Tennessee. And so we didn't get him, but we got Green. But I said, cool, as long as we get one, I feel like we already had Wester. And that's before Jeremiah Brown stepped. I said, we decent at linebacker. They wanted to start Trevor and Bentley. So I said, at least we got 4 linebackers, and we pretty good there. But if we get more, great. Then they went and got Chainsaw. I was like, okay. I saw him. I said, we really, really good. Now we can do the right combination. Coaches make the right personnel moves per game. Then, we good. Right. I mean, but he experiment everywhere he go. He was experimenting at Jackson State. Yeah, Amos flipped. And that just happened like really over the last day or so. But it started heating up over the weekend. And some people had idea it was coming. But so this is my theory on that. It's like they really had it on lock, regardless of what the haters say. When you put a back like Amos in the backfield, and then we still had Hayden, and then we had younger running backs behind them, which are the future. Your depth is there, you secure. Because we lost 3, so we lost depth. So it was important that we replaced that because injury. We saw this right in the spring game. Both of the running backs we had was hurt. We had to put a receiver at running back. That is possible. Both from practice and games and stuff. Sprain ankles, shoulder injuries, this and that. And you running the ball, you gotta have running backs because you can end up. Luck have it, you can end up having 2 running backs that are hurt at the same time, and now you at your 3rd running back. It's really like that at quarterback. That's why I told I was going on with that because you remember last year at the end of the year, Utah had both of their quarterbacks hurt. Colorado went up against the 3rd, 4th string quarterback. We seen it in Florida State. Florida State, main guy, they gonna go all the way to the next championship. They would have been in the playoff. They took the playoff from them because the starting quarterback got hurt. Then the backup quarterback got in and got hurt. And that's what messed up Florida State season. That their defense was stellar. Clearly, their defense went and whooped up on Louisville just with the defense alone. They couldn't even score, and they still beat Louisville. So depth is an important thing, and so that depth at that running back definitely, really, really was like, oh, they're gonna give us 2 big running backs. That means one get hurt, the other one is still able to play, and then we got our freshmen coming in at the 3rd and 4th, and Charlie and all of them. So we good. But when you one player removed from putting in your freshman running back who ain't quite got the experience yet, and God forbid one of them get hurt, like Micah already got hurt. Him and Charlie both was hurt during the spring game. So you got to have at least 4 deep running back just to be safe. Just to be safe. You know. Felt the same about integration. Yeah. Hey, we definitely don't get into more into this. I'm taking my time, like they say, good old Baptist preacher, because we definitely don't get into this good old boys club theory. Uh, so something is off. So I'm just breaking it down about this deal with Amos. When we had a piece like Amos, we had a big running back that can get the short yardage when we need it, pound away the game at the end, and not worry about him getting hurt because we got the depth. And we can kind of keep both of them fresh, bigger running backs, more experienced running backs. But he was the most experienced by far. So that right there solidified our offense more than anybody could imagine, especially when the portal already closed. So you just got to wait to the very end, end of the portal and then jump yourself out. Now there's no running backs in the portal. The portal closed. That's a very dirty thing to do. I mean, it just comes out dirty whether he meant to do it or not, because he was considered a depth piece. If it was that serious, then they would have got 2, 3 more running backs. But he gonna commit. Wait till the portal closed, then jump ship right before workout start back up. And now you can't really go find another running back to replace him. That's the dirty part about it for Colorado, because now you stuck with all unproven running backs. I mean, Hayden was good, but he was super duper backup. He gonna have to become a grown man, and one of them first gonna have to become a grown man because they don't really. None of them have no real long-term experience. Hayden got some snaps, yes, he did, but he wasn't at the point where he was a 1,000-yard rusher. He can become that, but none of it's proven. We also know we got 2 running backs from high school. One came early. None of them are proven, right? You and Hood, it was like he need the red shirt. He might have to play at this point. I don't know if he's fully rehab or whatever. What were their plans with him? Charlie. All these guys are kind of similar. They're all about the same height. So what made Amos different? He was a taller and bigger running back. He's good 30 pounds bigger than all of them. And he's couple inches taller than all of them. So he gave us a different look and diversity in that backfield. And he's a proven running back, and he was going to get the ball. And he's going to get the ball behind a good running line. So it was, I mean, they took something from Colorado, and it was very underhanded. You know, somebody say, I think Ole Miss off in the bag. There's no think in it, you know. It's no thing in it. I had already heard before it even was officially announced that they gave him the bag. It had already got out. I don't know what the bag. I don't know if the bag gonna come out. You know, but they definitely gave him the bag. That's not a question. It's not a theory. I just don't know how much. And you know what's weird? I saw a snippet on Twitter, like a little photographic. He went down. Now they returned one. They sent one from Miami and another transfer from LSU, and then it's him. So 3 transfer and running backs just went. Oh, they got rid of their whole running back room too. Only one came back. Maybe he was an underclassman. He went down there to compete with all SEC running backs. He the biggest one out. He gonna be biggest anyway. He really NFL size running back, old school NFL size running back, like Travis Henry, Eddie George, all them boys. So, but he went down there to compete. Compete wise, there had to be a bad. I don't know. They say it was the best decision. I don't know. I mean, I think Ole Miss is kind of branch off of the whole air raid itself. Anyway, I think to some degree, I could be wrong, but he competing with an LSU transfer running back. He competing with a Miami transfer running back and the guy who's already there. They all had not as many yards as him because clearly they didn't get the ball as much, but they all run per yards per carry was higher than his. So they had less touchdowns than him, but all of them had higher yards per carry. So he put himself in a running back room where he's going to have to compete in his last year. Or maybe he got another year, I think. But he could go another year. And he's going to go down and compete. When he was in the room as the veteran running back at Colorado, Hayden was pretty much projected to be second to him. They was going to share. But Hayden was going to be behind him. He was projected to be the starter in Colorado because everybody behind him was young. Hayden only been in college about a year. And then he had a bunch of freshman running backs behind him. So it couldn't have been opportunity. So all the nonsense about the players leave because they want to make sure they get the ball, they ain't going to run the ball, that's a lie. Because he was going to be the premier running back. He was going to be premier on the team where everybody's watching him. This is why I think it's dumb. Outside the money, I don't know. They say he need the money to help his family, I believe. That's the way to take advantage. That's kind of pimpery to me because it's like take advantage or you make a decision off of money. You was going to be the premier running back. Really, it was your job. And you're going to be on the team with the greatest spotlight. Everybody got, regardless, whether they there to see you lose or win, everybody's going to be there to see you. So you got the greatest spotlight. All the scouts going to be there. You there with Shador and Travis coming out, including the other guys. So the scouts going to be there. And you're on a team that, with you on the team anyway, has an actual chance to win their conference, regardless of what people think. Versus Ole Miss, they're not going to win the SEC. They're just not. They can do their best. They're not going to win the SEC. Nobody's expecting Ole Miss to win. They might have a good season, decent season, 7-5, but they're not going to win. You on a team that actually, with the pieces they added, they actually can go win their conference. There's nobody there think they can claim the conference. Texas and Oklahoma gone. It's up for grabs. And you had a chance to be a part of a team that actually has a chance of winning. And if you win, actually be seated in the playoff. All of those things have to be taken into consideration when you say it was the best move, other than just a bad. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying a running back not going to be. I'm talking about when he joined the team, it was solidified. He was solidified that was going to be a hard to stop offense. So when we get into our conspiracy, I mean, he wanted to stay. He never come. That's the problem. He never came. If he didn't have what he want, he should have never committed, and they could have pursued other running backs. So he had to be the one to change his mind. And if it wasn't a game play, it had to be him, because whatever agreement they had already been established, or else he wouldn't have been a committed player. So the fact that he committed, and then see what we got is a world now that they don't commit. He you know, he didn't have no choice to go to Ole Miss unless he wanted money. That's the choice he made. These guys didn't offer this man no scholarship if they didn't already come to terms. So what you're saying is he didn't have the terms weren't good, and why he commit? The terms clearly had to change. He must have went back, asked for more money, or decided to sneak and go down there, and he knew that door closed behind him. But nobody came to terms with something that he wasn't willing to do. So if anybody changed, it was him. And it couldn't have been Coach Prime there. There was no Indian giving going on. It was either this is what we're gonna give you, but you feel like you want more. We're not giving you that. But you shouldn't have committed. Like, this is not no high school. This is not January. This is a small window of a portal. If you didn't want to be there, you should have not came, and they could have got other running backs. What I'm saying. That would be nice. I can't say yay or nay. Because one thing for sure, they're gonna have to grow up. They're gonna have to grow up because the portal's closed. Yeah, they pimping them. They pimping them with the money, because you put them in a situation where if this team just, but with character like that, he could. I don't know. It could be a good thing, but I'm saying these guys are in a bad situation where money can pull them, especially they just want to bait you away. They can put you on the bench, give you the money, put you on the bench just so Coach Prime can lose. We don't know where the money funneling in from, but we know it's a clear agenda to the point where we don't want him to get these players, because we ain't gonna be able to beat him, and we ain't gonna hit the end of it, and it's gonna prove him right. And all the junk we've been doing to put him down was been in vain. Everything with the cheating, everything we did last season, has been in vain if you turn around and beat the mess out of everybody this season and prove his model or his concept right. So we already know teams from all over the country, different, not just in the conference, came together last year that helped Oregon have film against them. So we know they did it for Oregon. They did it with other games. Now everybody putting their brain together to figure out how to stop you, figure out your weaknesses. Like you said, they got way more resources than one team alone. If I've been watching you while the other team playing the other game, and I provide film to you on a breakdown, that's the advantage you have. It's not just sharing film. I'm literally helping you. I'm helping you do your job while you go focus on another team to make sure you beat him. That's what Keyshawn Johnson described last year. So that could be the same thing financially. Financially, they can put funds together and say, as long as he don't go, anybody in Colorado get, let's put them away, because they can be a significant contribution, and we just gonna undercut them like that. I don't know if they care if he left. I know they don't. Why would they? Why would the running back room care? Now that's just like, why would they care? I'm not even talking about what the player is saying. It's not even about if I'm the guy who gonna benefit from the dude leaving. Why would I care? Who does that? Like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry about a guy leaving who's gonna open the door for me to come in. See, a player is always gonna think about themselves. Matter of fact, a player gonna think I'm better than him, whether it's true or not. Because yeah, we have stuff we typically do on Thursdays with B Watts. I mean, this is what we really looking at. Our players gonna be good, because our players gonna say, well, good, he gone. That's more opportunity for me. And my thing is, you say they should kick back some. It's cool. So go and kick back. I don't know. I don't know what they kickback would be. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be. You can't put it on the players who go in the draft to be responsible for that, because these colleges who have money, they're not dependent on players from the NFL. They may contribute, but they got alumni, they got business money, and that's the only thing Colorado going to be able to do. Maybe Coach Prime gonna have to tap into his bigger network at large and start like he was trying to do with Jackson State. I remember when he was trying to raise money for Jackson State to get a new stadium, it was a whole different ball game. He was saying, get with the people who got a business, get with people who graduate alumni who have businesses and give back. So maybe Coach Prime at some point, like they be sending gifts to him. Maybe they can get to the point where corporations can send money to him to help build his fund, and it won't just be based off of their connection with Colorado. Maybe it'll be attached to him, and if he leaves, it'll be attached to him. But as far as raising money, maybe that's the bigger side that he's going to have to tap into if it's going to become a money game, which it clearly has already become a money game. You know, but historically, Colorado, regardless of what you say about what money they got around, they're not known for having big money like this, like a Texas and even some USC, some Oregon. Some of these schools are known to have a lot of money backing them to be able to pull that off. You know, that's where they at. Well, I'm behind here. I'm gonna choose to donate. Yeah, I mean they can donate. That I mean, they say Texas got oil money. What you gonna do against oil money? Your little NFL money is nothing compared to they pulling from, big corporations who got they can buy 10 Travises, 1,000 Travises, you know. Um, yeah. So my thing is, I feel like that's a power play. That's a chess move when you attack somebody like take Amos away from a team in that time. It's just nothing else you can say about it because the timing of it is jacked up because, like I said, the portal's already been closed. So whatever's in there is in there, and they already don't scrap through all the scraps and it's gone. So it's not like you can say that's why Amos will jump in the portal. If this was in the beginning of the portal, if he had came on a visit and this happened and the portal was still open, but when you commit, this ain't like high school where you commit and your junior year and you got a whole nother year and you say, oh, I decided to decommit. Man, you committed and decommitted within weeks. You put a team in a situation that took you on to not be able to replace you. High school, you jump out, they got a whole cycle, they can replace you. But that's a small window. So you really put Colorado in the bad spot. And I don't know how that's going to play out for you. I mean, you already don't jump around from team to team. They say he was at South Carolina with which I forgot. I didn't know he was at South Carolina back there with Charlo. He was there with Charlo, and once they say he could have stayed there and been playing, but he left, and then he went. Then he acted like he was gonna go to Mississippi State, so he clearly got a thing from Mississippi. And then he jumped from Mississippi State and came to us. Then he jumped from us after committing, so he committed to Mississippi State, jumped to us. So it's like you starting to look like a character, dude. You starting to look like a character thing. That's what you're making it look like. Because your commitments ain't worth a crap. You just jump from team to team. And it's like, do you want to play or not? Like, fine, leave all the other stuff alone because it look bad. You don't demit it and decommitted, committed, all within a month. After he was posted that he could potentially fill it. After it was posted. No, I didn't. Some people say they knew. Like I say, all was a short period of time. It's only been weeks. There's definitely a agenda to keep him from seeding as a coach because no other can duplicate. I mean, it's an unfair advantage, and they're creating unfair advantages. They know they can't compete with his reputation. They know they can't compete with his resources. He can go and pull a whole staff of NFL Hall of Fame and come and get a Hall of Fame coach alumni, and they'll show up. They know that if he had his way, they also know if he had his way, other Hall of Fame and great NFL coaches gonna figure it out. And we're gonna go up against these duds who don't know half what we know and don't have the resources, and it's gonna become unfair because they're gonna be the ones dominating coaching scene. Because historically, the guys who just love the sport and never was good, probably didn't play it, has dominated it. And the guys who played kind of step aside, say, y'all got it, we don't have our career, and they never had to compete. And they put them through the rigor. You got to be one of us. And now we're gonna show you who's king. You got to go through our system to become one of us. You can't start from where you at. Dion come in and start from where he is. Boom, as a head coach at Jackson State, which is Division I, FCS Division I, his first job. And they said, oh, And even the black people made a problem about that. Even they had something to say about that. Oh, he got experience. In a couple years, he dominated. Then he jumped to Colorado, and that's what threw this whole thing into chaos. Yeah, I mean, your reputation is gonna suck. I mean, and then you do it to somebody like Dion. He know, like he said, he know all the GMs. Like, you really trying to go to NFL? Anybody that take you serious, they would have saw you staying with Dion, because he would have walked you right into the NFL. Now you go down there with all them boys, you might be on the bench, and then they're gonna say, well, he didn't quite transfer over from, you know, the lower tier group of five. You know, he wasn't quite ready for this level, because he might not even get the shot. He might be good, but they don't give him the ball, or he really got to split carries with them 3-4 of the guys, then he may be screwed. He was gonna split carries at Colorado. Everybody got to split. I just said you got to have more than one running back. People get hurt, and I want to keep you fresh. But you was gonna be the premier back. You was gonna be the guy on the poster. You was gonna be the guy. Them other guys, they younger than you. They younger than you. They already there training. They're gonna officially start like at the end of the month, first of June. You know, if he was sincere, he would be there too. Hell, they don't teamed up on him. Oh, we cannot let him succeed, because he gonna leave a drift. He gonna leave a floodgate open, and all these other football Hall of Famers gonna say they done ran off Ed Reed. Ray Lewis gonna want to come. Cam Newton, all these boys gonna show up, and these boys already got like flag football leagues and stuff like that. They got relationship with kids all over the country, so they get a team. All them boys gonna flip and come transfer and come play with them. And Cam Newton even got a team, just off the fact that he been doing the flag football. Coach Prime started off doing little league football for years, and his league spread to other states. How you think Dylan Edwards got there? You know, so all these kids, you look back at the relationship, they played for him. And this boy DJ Green, whatever, coming from Arizona State, he played when he was a little bitty boy from Coach Prime organization. So yeah, I mean, this is obvious. I'm like, don't play us dumb. I mean, sometimes you can be dumb when your team benefiting from it, or when you benefit from it. You can see somebody cheating, you can see somebody stealing, and you like, ha 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 ha. You know it's wrong, but you think it's benefiting you until the joke is on you. And like I said, I've done a video on earlier this week. Even before all this happened, we talked about this. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. We've been talking about this type of stuff because it must have been in the air, but it's going to be in the air. It's going to be that way. That man never came to see you. He never stepped foot on, he never came. I mean, you got to look at Cordell Stewart hanging over there. He alumni, but Cordell Stewart be there. All them boys that played at the Cowboys be there. Jerry Rice popped through there. Emmitt Smith popped through there. This man played all them years in the NFL. Anybody he called gonna show up because he's a relational guy. Darryl Green, all these other people gonna show up, and not just T.O. and Warren Sapp. Anybody can show up any given week. Ray Lewis can pop up. Anybody can show up any given week. Yeah, I mean, you think about, you start letting these guys in the league, and they got these relationships, and they got reputation, and that's what Dion is. Dion really represents a takeover. We talking about black, we talking about this. That's cute, but what we really talking about is a good old boy system, a bunch of nobody guys. How many you? I will wait for you to tell me how many of these great coaches actually played football. I'll wait. You know, most of these guys was water boys on the team. Most of these guys say, well, I can't go and play at college when I'm going to become a grad assistant. Most of these guys didn't play no football. Most of these guys, if you look at the number of guys on any level, but even more so, let's look at the highest level of football. Like, they'll let a great coach like Dion go and coach Division II. Go ahead. We ain't worry about you down there, because you ain't going to be able to recruit down there. But once he went to Jackson State, he showed I can pull a Travis Hunter and all them boys. That's when the heat actually started. That's when all this junk started. But they still was like, ha ha ha, you no threat to us. You no threat to us. Because most of them guys, no matter how much you got, they're going to choose to go to Alabama over Jackson State. They may come on a visit. They may come do all that just for clout. You seen Jackson State start popping up on everybody. Now, everybody would offer, but most people wasn't there. But he was offering because he got Travis Hunter and the other 4 stars, Kevin Coleman. And that's when they was like, he going to have a movement at Jackson State. Them folks was too silly to see what's going on. They should have put their money behind him then down there. But it was too stupid. That's what it is. They wanted to doggone compete with him, even when he was at their school. Well, we've been good. We got our legacy. Well, he want to change our little what's not bowl games, little classics. He wants to get more money. He need to leave our stuff alone. He need to do this. He need to do that. And instead of realizing you ignorant person, look at the big picture of what he's really doing. He's using Jackson State, HBCU, to do what he's doing at Colorado. He's challenging the norms. He's challenging the norm, but they was too busy with their head so far up their own backsides. They couldn't see. And then you look at within a couple of years, you say, well, darn. No wonder he got up out of there. Because what he was trying to do, it wasn't going to be able to be done because you got to have an army behind that. You're going up against a big machine who got way more money than you. All that whole SWAC should have got behind them. The whole SWAC would have benefited. The whole SWAC was benefiting because a lot of them guys was transferring. Everybody wanted to go to there, but they couldn't play for Deion, so they had to go and play for Alabama State. Or they wanted to play against him. And all of a sudden, we seen a surplus of talent because the eyeballs was on the SWAC. Everybody couldn't go to Jackson State. All them people was coming to them camps. So it started saying other teams benefit in the SWAC, talent-wise. Because a lot of them players would have never thought to play at the SWAC, right? And we can make it white, black. I'm sure it's a part of it somewhere, but it's not the all. You're not gonna make it the all because you can't answer to why when you was around with all the black people. It wasn't kumbaya then either. Because hate is hate. You worry about when hate put the white mask on. What happened when hate put the black mask on? So y'all getting into inspiration mode. Y'all getting into some other stuff now. Like it sounds good when it fit, but what happened when it don't fit? Right. I mean, because they get a head start. A lot of these guys, they don't go to college. They don't want to go to college because they can't play. So they start their coaching career while they're in college. Like you see at Colorado, a lot of them boys holding the dummies, they football players, they come on as grad assistants and trainers and all that stuff, whatever, not trainers in college, but grad assistants, walking around holding the clipboards, putting the dummies down, holding the dummies, and they work their way up. Eventually they become assistant to the assistant. Then they become an assistant coordinator. That's their path. So they feel like I worked my way all the way through this path. He just jump in as a head coach. I don't care if he's Deion Sanders. They little pride and the ego get in it. So they don't create a rule or a path that say anybody who want to coach got to come through this rites of passage, this route. And when you got somebody like Deion, the audacity to cut the line, and it works. He had the audacity to do it. And somebody, athletic coordinator, whatever you want to call it, they actually hired this man. And now you're like, oh man, this junk is working for real. It's working for real. Let's take a pause on that. Some people can be blind when it comes to race. They can go both sides. You can be blind to race, thinking everything's about race, and be dead blind. Stevie Wonder blind. Matter of fact, he see better than you. Or you can be blind and say it don't exist. You know better than the person who said it don't exist, and all you see is race. Now I say y'all get into a whole nother. Y'all gonna see the other side of Greg said it, which is more inspiration, motivation. Because if you only see race, you're no better than the person who only see race or don't see race. You're the same. You got nothing to say about them. You the racist, they the racist. Both y'all the racist, because all you see is race. They don't see no race, and all you see is race. You both racist, because everything about you is race. You know, and we got a bigger scheme at place where everybody can get in there. And the fact that you only see race, you're no good to nobody, because if it's other things going on, it's gonna get away with it, because all you see is race. And they're gonna be able to defute you and debunk you all day long when it could be something else. So everybody's playing in the same pond. Everybody's in the same murky water, and it's all murky. You don't know which one it is. It's a combination. So I can use race against you. I can use jealousy against you, but all of you ignorant. The racist person ignorant. The jealous person ignorant. The greedy person ignorant. I'm in it because he getting the money and I want it. The greedy, everybody's in there with their own agenda. But the racist person so ignorant, all he sees is race. He don't see the greedy person in there doing his thing. He don't see the jealous person in there doing his thing, because all you see is race. You're no good. You're not valuable. We got races going on, but that's all you see. That's all you want to see. Because racism is this, jealousy is this. Racism ain't the only form of hate. You see, Coach Prime, you ain't gonna sit here and tell me the only people hate Coach Prime is racist people, when black people hate him too. So that right, so that you want to hold on to that's been gone. That's good and dead. It's good and dead. Because if he's at Jackson State and everybody was black and they still was tearing him up. It's not to say that nobody's racist, but it's a bigger play going on. It's bigger than just race. It's you got somebody said the good old boy system. Good old boy system. What is the good old boy system? Good old boy system in this case in football is what I described. Everybody who come through this coaching fraternity, it's like when you got a player fraternity, like NFL has a fraternity, an NFL alumni fraternity. They're gonna maintain their culture, and anything that goes against their culture, their representatives gonna buck up against it. We the players don't like that. We the players. Football coaches has a fraternity too. And their fraternity is, as long as you come through this good old boy system, coaching good old boy system, as long as you come through there, through our path, and we knight you, you kiss our ring, we run this, you good. Then you got somebody who want to cut the line, all them boys in the system gonna come against you. And they're gonna do some weird stuff. They're gonna all come together and help coach against you. They're gonna all come together and steal your players. They're gonna all put lies out about you as if they're on the same team, because they are. It's a fraternity. Dion is up against a coaching fraternity, and you ain't gonna tell me he ain't. Because a coaching fraternity will far exceed race. If they got to come together to stop you, they ain't gonna worry about, oh, that's a black coach. If he can help contribute, they all gonna come up together to put Dion in his place. They're gonna put him in his place because he's going against a system. You gotta have a roadblock somewhere up in there. I mean, it gotta be. I don't already acknowledge that. 100 times. And we still, if we already acknowledge that racism exists. You saying over and over again is not gonna make it exist or not exist, because racism is just one way that people are ignorant. It's only one way people are ignorant. It's all kinds of ignorant people. More about the different. That's about exactly like I just said. I mean, everybody has a fraternity. Politics has a fraternity. And you'll be a fool to tell me that. So you're gonna have a whole nother conversation. You'll be a fool to tell me that politics don't have a fraternity where all the black people, white people, everybody get together to take down one dude. We see it every day. Yeah, well, we going to church with this inspiration motivation. Might have to spill it over, because when you come up against a system, all bets are off. Poor people will get with rich people to take down a rich person. Will convince poor people to go attack a person because they're afraid that other person become rich. And since I want to stay rich, I'm gonna convince everybody else to go attack him. He's my opponent. They dumb, so I'm gonna convince they silly self to go and attack him because he's really my enemy. But they so dumb they don't know that I'm gonna have them doing my dirty work. You won't know what's all mixing. There may be some racism over there. Whatever they need to hear to go attack that dude. That's all I need them to do. They silly behinds. I tell them 100 different things and have 100 different groups of people to go attack this one person just to make sure that he's not a threat to me. Right? That you see that in politics. You see that in politics. You see that in sports. It all looks the same. It's the same game. You is the one that's gonna make yourself look foolish because you're the one that's being used because you're in one track recording in your head. So all I need to tell you is what you need to hear to act. And I'm gonna tell another person what they need to hear to act. And I'm gonna tell the other person, I can say 100 different lies just to make them the dummies to go after the other person that I'm really worried about, that I'm really intimidated by. Right? Right. So let's sum that up. With Coach Prime, he can have 100 different types of people after him. The goal ain't for him to be black or unblack. The goal is to stop him by any means necessary. So why would I just send racist people to him? Everybody ain't racist. Unless you claim to believe that. That tool won't be effective if it don't represent everybody. So some racist people may attack him, but that ain't enough. Then I got to convince some people he arrogant. Then whoever got low self-esteem, whatever, because he arrogant, that's his problem. Now I don't like him because he's cocky. Okay, so you got that group of people. Then you got a group of people who say, oh, I don't like him because, you know, he got a lot of money and, you know, he don't need the money. You know, you got all these different people who are going to try to go after this guy. But the ultimate scheme may be to stop him from succeeding as a coach. That may be the ultimate scheme. And you got all this other stuff going on to destroy that. Well, clearly Coach Prime has been effective, but don't underestimate. He got to take a harder road. He got to take a more challenging road to get to a place that everybody else just got through by playing football. So if he's recruiting, he's doing this, he got to worry about, everybody try to steal each other's recruits, but it's a line, right? It's rules to the game. But see, you starting to see guys break the rules in the coaching fraternity because they don't treat you like you part of the coaching fraternity, right? When you say, hey, we all competitive, we all throw jabs at each other, it's all fun and game. But when you got an outsider who's a part of it, not a part of the coaching fraternity, the rules, like let's say Alabama, Oregon clashing. We both trying to get the same guy, Clemson trying to get the same guy, all of us trying to get the same guy. It's rules to engagement. It's like war. But Coach Prime coming there, it's certain things we'll do to him that we won't do to our other brotherhood. And that's what I'm describing. It's certain rules or violations that I'm not talking about NCAA file. I'm talking about within the coaching brotherhood fraternity. It's certain stuff I won't do. It'd be considered underhand. I won't do it to Nick Saban, but I'll do it to Coach Prime. It's certain things I'm willing to do. Matter of fact, with this dude, we all willing to come together to box him out so we could get in there together and play the game like we play. We see that again, like I say in politics. We got to get old boy out so we can go back and play the same old game because he interrupting it. We all know the rules of the game. We all know how to act like we going along with everything and act like we beefing, but we ain't really beefing. But we really beefing with dude. That's what I'm describing. When you're not an insider, when you're not inside, them boys will team up on you. Them boys will team up on you. He thinks Prime cut the line. He thinks Prime cut the line. JB. Who's JB? He thinks. Who you say JB? All I know is Jeremiah Brown. The reason Hater JB is against. I'm missing it. It's 2 minutes, same initial. JB. Who is JB? And I'm gonna give y'all another idea. Like, okay, you got the coaching fraternity. Certain things are out of line. It'll start looking like Jim Crow days when black players would enter. You see these movies when they integrate and the referees let the players play dirty and all of that. When they had to go into a whole nother hotel, the movies we saw when the racism was the core of everything. And we watched that boy hit Travis Hunter out of bounds, and he didn't get kicked out the game. The ball went all the way up in the stands down there, landed on the ground, and boom, that boy get hit. We saw Shador getting hit. And it's like the referees was in on it. So now you see why I've been talking about the refs. They like, okay, we ain't throwing no flag on certain stuff. We only gonna throw flags on stuff that allow the other team to come back on Colorado. So that's why you see Colorado have 11 penalties a game, 12 penalties a game, and the other team got 5, 4, 3. And you like, but I seen all these players, they didn't call none of them holes on the receiver. Pass interference, they don't rip the whole jersey off of them. They didn't call nothing. The offensive line, defensive line, their offensive line is holding the mess out of our defensive line. They ain't calling it. So now you see the refs get in on it. Nobody ain't saying nothing. Nobody ain't saying nothing because they all in on it. The coach go in there and tell his players, go hit the play. He ain't even worried about the players go and hit Travis Hunter, Shador. He know they ain't gonna get a penalty call. That's how bold he's in there. Coach Boone, Coach Coon. It's like that kind of thing. And then you would say it's racism, but it has the same energy because it's the same blindness of everybody in on it. See, we know what made racism so powerful. You know what made racism so powerful? It wasn't that it was racism. It was just that it happened and nobody did nothing about it. What makes racism so powerful back in the day is when I can hang you and nobody went to jail. If I can hang you and all the witnesses claim they didn't see nothing, matter of fact, they'll tell somebody else did it. When everybody in on it, that's what makes stuff dangerous. When everybody's in on it, that's what makes stuff dangerous. When everybody doing bold-faced stuff, but I'm convinced it's okay because I don't like Coach Prime. I don't like Coach Prime. I know they cheating, but because they cheating Coach Prime, I'm okay with it until somebody cheat me. Look here. Only reason that this stuff worked, and that's why I'm really saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm probably the only one gonna say this. Everybody say something. Y'all who with Colorado gotta be ready to speak up because they gonna cheat. And they gotta cheat Colorado. They gotta steal their players. They gotta distract Coach Prime. Everything he say, make it like he the worst coach in the world. Everything Shador say, they gotta threaten his draft stock. They gotta play all the mind games they can play. Right? They gotta do that because realistically, they're gonna be like Utah game every week. They're gonna take 2-3 touchdowns because our offense is gonna be too dominant. Our defense showing it's gonna be dominant. So they're gonna have to let other team hit our players after the play, hold them when they catch the ball, don't throw a flag, but we blow on their neck, they're gonna throw a flag on us. They're gonna be calling our line for holding every time we do get a good run for all y'all. We need a run game, and then you run the ball, and every time you get a good run, they throw a flag. All of that gonna happen. Trust me. This is the Big 12. Fool, we ain't talking about a Big 12. Ain't none of this conversation about the Big 12. Big 12 ain't in now the title. Big 12 is not the enemy. Pac-12 won the enemy. It's a whole system that's going to be designed. It's a whole system that's going to be designed to stop this dude. And they got to be even more blatant this year because last year, They did it with a horrible line, and they was threatening everybody with a horrible line. When I say the line, I can't blame them on penalties they were called for that I don't believe they did. You know, but you really look at every game, why they were so close. Every time Colorado finally got a stop on our horrible defense, personal foul, roughing the passer, personal foul, whatever, automatic first down. You finally stopped them. Now your defense on the field, they don't fought their life off to finally stop them. And they gonna go find a personal foul flag. Do you not realize you can throw a personal foul flag penalty pretty much every play? These guys in there fighting and punch each other, pushing each other in the face. You can call it. You definitely can call holding. You definitely can call holding. So if they can call holding, they can always have that as an ace of spades. Oh, that was a good run. Holding. Even the commentator be like, oh, that wasn't really a hold, I guess. It's too late. Holding. 3rd and 15. They can put you in 3rd and 15 when you had just got a first down. They can do that. So they can put you in bad positions. Y'all act like we watched it. They can put your defense in a bad position. They can put your offense in a bad position just with that whistle and that flag. And you're only going to be able to acknowledge that when you see what they're already doing. What the media are already doing. Coach Prime say he don't even cuss, and they act like he the worst person in the world. Shador is little mean mouth dude. He say one little thing. He was mid at best. Man, oh, his draft stock gone. He don't need to go to NFL. Like, who are you to say what he gonna do in the first place? But the audacity of you, the boy don't even barely say stuff. He don't be in social media. He don't say. I mean, if it weren't for his brother, we wouldn't even see him like that on social media. I mean, other than Instagram, maybe. And you jealous of this man because you didn't want him to be good. Oh, he's not that good. He's just a little FCS. He's just a daddy's boy. Then he proved that wrong. Now something wrong with his character. Now something wrong with his character. You're going to dig and dig and dig and find something wrong with him. That's not good. Y'all find any kind of way to get up under these guys' skin. We're creating an environment for this stuff to be able to happen. We're only doing that when we don't say nothing and we don't make a big deal out of it. I use my platform to make a deal, and I suggest y'all do the same. Put it out there. Let these folk, don't be a blind bat just looking at everything they throw in your face. Oh, they throw this. Oh, racism. Look at what they're really doing. Look at what they're really doing. Look at the real intent behind what they're doing, the real purpose behind what they're doing, right? All of this has to do with why is Colorado a scary team? I just say why they're a scary team, really. Because their coach is a threat to the system. Not because he's a Superman, not because he's a perfect man, you know. We're going to have to watch him. We're going to have to watch him. I can't tell Coach Prime to watch him. Everything he say, oh, he just making excuses. Oh, he just complaining. All of that, right? We're going to have to watch this thing. It's going to be us in this social media. Social media empowers us. Well, you got to look at it. Now that people can transfer you around, how can you tell them not to tamper? Now they just told you how they doing it. They send the players at them. Even with Shador and Shiloh, they can. Oh, I ain't got to recruit them. The player can recruit them because now you're not recruiting high school players. You recruiting people from other teams. You got to think about it. If I got 80 players on my team, 100 players, they don't play with everybody. It's all a tree. I got this many guys from Georgia, this many guys from Florida. Everybody on their team had another 57, 100 players on their team. Everybody had that. So when you look at it, you got a whole network of thousands of other players you can access just through your players, just through the fact that they played on a high school team who played with a guy who went to Georgia, and another guy went to Alabama, and another guy, especially they was on a good team, just because they played flag, like they kept saying, we played I guess you call it flag 707. Just because they played that, they have the ability. Oh, we know each other because we played in the same 7-on-7 league during the summers. So all these players know other good players. We played in the All-American game, and the fact that they're able to leave after 1 year, now you have an even bigger problem because the players can say, "Hey," they can say, "Go contact old boy. Y'all played together on 7-on-7, or y'all played together in high school. He on the bench. Tell him come over here and play." Or they got a new coach. Tell him come over here. So tampering is out the window. Tampering is out the window. Because now you're recruiting guys who are already on somebody's team. You're not just recruiting guys who ain't came to your level yet. They've opened the can of worms with the transfer thing. Back when I played, your butt transfer, you had to go down. You was at D2, you had to go down to D3. You was at D1, you had to go down to D1 double A, or it wasn't no FCSF, it was D1 double A, or Division 2. That's why certain Division 2 programs was just good. Like, you seen, I think South Alabama was at Division 2 at one point. I think even North Alabama was. A lot of them ended up moving to Division 1. Valdosta could have moved up. They stayed at Division 2. Albany State. Certain programs, whether it was HBC or not, attracted a lot of Division 1 players, and they was all. That's why they win the championship every year. They've been in the playoff every year. It's kind of like how we see with North Dakota State and South Dakota State, who stay in their little tier. They won't move up to the group of 5 or whatever, because that's how a lot of these programs do. They used to receive people from the higher level to come down and transfer down, and that's how they built their programs. So now that they open it up, it's just a whole bunch of movement. They have ruined it because you put all that energy to get a freshman, knowing he gonna redshirt, knowing he not gonna play, he behind 3-4 guys. 9 times out of 10, they gonna transfer the next year. The problem is this: if he gonna transfer, what's the benefit of him transferring? He's still young. He still ain't got no playing experience. They teaching these kids to not be committed to their school and not stay there and develop and earn a position, which is a whole nother character problem. They up and go from one school, then they don't like that school and they go to another one. Some of them bold enough to go to 2 schools in 1 year. I transfer in January, and by the end of spring, I'm transferring again. Their grades gotta suck. Y'all might as well stop calling them college athletes. I'm gonna say this before. Student athlete, college. They're not. Because no way you gonna transfer to 5 schools and your grades good. And the transcript ain't transferring that easy. I don't transfer before. And I transferred in my same state, and they tried to rip me off. So if I went to a whole nother system, they took a whole year from me. You ain't finna graduate, and your grades gonna suck because you keep moving around. You go to 2 schools. You was at Colorado in January, and then by May, June, you transferring to another school. And you just got there. It's like you don't went to 3 schools in 1 year. Yeah, that's gonna be another thing. Colorado got all the cousins there. Yeah, if Coach Prime have a proof of concept, all these wannabes, they gonna lose all their jobs. Nobody worry about. It's like, we couldn't beat y'all on the field. Y'all can at least leave the coaching to us. Then come back and take all the coaching positions. Now the guys who love football gonna be keyboard coaches like me. When they say keyboard coach, you're gonna be a keyboard coach like me because you have to compete against Cam Newton for the head coach job. And your pride too small to watch him play and then have to be his assistant coach. You feel like you should coach him because you mastered the art of coaching. So everything Colorado do, they wait for Colorado to lose already. It's nepotism. Oh, okay. Coach Prime want his sons down. Now all he do is bring everybody. They got 7 sets of brothers. Well, Coach Prime, and if he do win, well, he don't know how to coach nobody. All he know how to do is steal other people players out the portal. He just get portal players. He ain't coach nobody. Everything he do is gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem, guys, because they're scared that if he have a proof of concept, all his homeboys who keep hanging over there watching, you see Sapp was watching, now he coaching. You really think you're finna keep Warren Sapp as an assistant coach? You really think Colorado go and they defense line dominate, that somebody ain't gonna be trying to get Coach Sapp to become coach and throw him the bag if that's what he into. But they gonna want him now. They didn't want him back then. You didn't want me. Now I'm hot. You're all on me. Mike Jones. Nobody, just like Coach Prime. Oh, he ain't got no experience. If that D-line go and whoop everybody, it was Coach Sapp. Then guess who gonna be? SEC gonna be telling Coach Sapp, could you come be our head D-line coach? You ain't got to be a grad assistant. You got your degree. He ain't got nothing to prove. And don't be surprised if T.O. see what happened to Coach Sapp and say, you know what? Because Coach Sapp didn't want to coach either. T.O. didn't want to coach. T.O. said, you know what? I think I do want to coach. Then she knows somebody gonna be asking him to be their coach. At the end of the day, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem to the powers that be. It's gonna be a problem to the system. That's what they're worried about. First and foremost, the coaching fraternity is that they is scrambling behind the scenes. We cannot let this guy win because, man, everything we work for, all the hard work we put in, everything we've done to make ourselves coaches is a threat. So how do you still import a player who don't belong to you? Well, they showing you ain't nothing belong to you. That's what they showing you. They showing you guys commit, and they ain't committed. So why you say you committed? You shouldn't decommit unless it's something significant. You shouldn't even be able to, but they let it happen. Why? What's the purpose of you committing if you're not committed? You could have just said, I think about it. I'm going to go pursue my other options. And then they could have pursued other running backs. Why did you commit if you're not committed? The portal was closing. It's not like he did it in the beginning of the portal. The portal was closing right when he did it within a week. Why do you commit when you're not committed? You know it. You know we here. Why do you commit when you're not committed? What are y'all teaching these boys? Why even use the term? Why don't you use the term thinking about it or considering? Like, why do you use the term committed when people can? Now I get high school kids who commit their junior year, sophomore year, which I don't think make no sense. And by the time they senior year come along, they realize, you know what? I don't have a chance to go look at other schools, high school kids. But you a college player, you should know what you want. You ain't not a high school again. You ain't got to go look at 20 different schools. You should know, and whoever you commit to should be the school because you know what you want. You should know what you're looking for. You don't already been in college. Well, how do you get to commit and decommit and commit and decommit? And you've been in college for 4 or 5 years. That's foolish. That's foolish. Appreciate the super chat. Put T.O. as the head recruiter. Have him go on home school visit. It's a wrap. If that's what he want to do. But, I mean, Coach Prime can go and get 5 T.O.s. That's the problem, too. If he mess around and just really want to get crazy with it, he can send T.O. on visits. He can go and get Antonio Brown, Pat Man. He can go get all these guys who sit with them that they know the kids look up to. He can send Pat Man to people in Atlanta. He from Atlanta. Everybody know Pat Man. Pat Man be doing your recruiting in Georgia. You can go send T.O. to, wherever area he popular in. Send him to Dallas or something. Or send him to Alabama. He from Alabama. He a legend in Alabama. I mean, he has the ability to get a bunch of T.O.s because he is surrounded by them. He's an NFL alumni. He's an NFL gold jacket. He can go get all gold jacket recruiters. He already has brought one on the staff. He can go get all these guys to go get them. He ain't even really showed his full hand on what he can do. He just gave a taste this year. He went and got Warren Sapp, and, Coach Lewis, and his partner that's going to be an analyst. And he just showing y'all. He went and got Lord Hurt. He showed y'all. He ain't put his hand all the way in his bag yet. It's going to be a character problem. I know I would feel it's a character problem. He screwed him. Yeah, he screwed him because you can't replace him because the portal closed. It ain't never crumbs in there. If he had said like from the beginning, I'm considering Colorado, but I want to keep my options open, he would have gave Colorado the option to look at some other players. but he committed and then decommitted. He shouldn't even be allowed to decommit after the portal closed. Just like, because they got to fix that crap, because you put people like Colorado, and they want to put Colorado in a situation. Because if you decommit after the portal closed, you shouldn't be able to. Just like when the portal closed, you can't move. Whoever you with when the portal closed, that should be it. If you already committed, or else stay uncommitted. They got people who are in the portal who are uncommitted. But if you committed when that portal closed, you should be stuck. And I just came up with that. Greg said it. Send it everywhere. I need to talk to NCAA. If that portal closed and you committed, you committed. And that make sure people don't commit and then wait after the portal closed. The team can't go get nobody else. You shouldn't be able to leave. If we can't keep getting people in the portal, you shouldn't be able to leave. Because that ain't fair, because everybody don't took everything out the portal, and now you go, and I ain't got it. I needed that. I needed an extra running back. Oh, I want to recruit one. And you making I can't go get one. Do y'all see how jacked up that is? I can't go get no other running back from the portal because the portal closed, but my running back can leave. Because he committed. That's a loophole out this world. Because I was under the impression that once the portal closed, nobody can leave. But the loophole is he never came. So technically, he's still in the portal. Go figure, you've been using that term portal. He's still in the portal. He never arrived. Yeah. How you get to commit and still be going on visits? And the portal closed up, and I'm stuck with a clown who ain't committed. And even if he couldn't go, I don't want him here because he don't want to be here. Yeah. Yeah. Because it closed. Everybody knew you don't want to be stuck in the portal and when it closed, because people filling their roster for practice. He the only person who thought it was smart to go and leave a couple weeks before practice. He the only person, and I don't see how anybody want that. It should be a rule when that portal closed. Just like nobody else can get in the portal, you committed, you shouldn't be able to move, because that's not fair to the team who no longer can get players out the portal, because nobody else can't enter the portal. So it technically is like him entering. If he committed, it's almost like him re-entering the portal. But the loophole was he never came on campus. He never was a student. But in reality, they should treat these people who enter the portal that's committed. They should treat them like they're on the staff. And at that portal close, he should not be able to get back in the portal because he's already committed. But that's something NCAA got to work out. I know it can happen again. It can happen to Coach Prime and everybody cool with it. But if it happened to Alabama or somebody, it's gonna be a problem. Don't there be some lawsuits? Because it's just unfair. It had to be a loophole because nobody else could do it. If I say I don't like my team, I'm finna enter the portal and the portal closed, you couldn't do it. But because he's still hovering in the portal in between schools, he gets to act like he wasn't committed. It had to be a loophole. Well, we already know that's what he does, because he was committed to Mississippi State before Colorado. That's when we flipped him from Michigan State. But the difference was the portal was still open. I think you can do what you want while that portal open. Once that portal closed, it should be no movement. He was allowed to move after that portal closed. That's unfair. Now, if he was an uncommitted person, I would say, okay, everybody who don't have a team, we don't want to close the portal because it's unfair, because there's thousands of athletes get stuck in the portal every year anyway. So we want to leave it where as long as you enter that portal before it closed, you still have a chance to go to another school. But if you already on a team or you already committed and that portal closed, that's the end. Because this kind of movement, you create a bunch of more loopholes. The other players gonna be like, well, shoot, all I can do, because I'm looking out for myself. I'm screwing over the team that I'm committed with. Was to say, so he can do it technically, he can do it again. How dumb is that? He can do it again. He can go to Ole Miss and say, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna go to Florida State. Until they stop this mess, they ain't put no limit on him. They put limit on everybody else. They have not put a limit on that loophole with that Porter player who technically is not attached to no school yet. But he can keep jumping in and jumping out, jumping in, jumping out. Who else want to throw me some money? Jump in, jump out. And he can just keep screwing people. Who we can do that to? What other running back you gonna get the Porter close? There's no other running backs in the Porter worth anything. How can you do it? That's why you do it when the Porter's open before everybody get all the running backs. That's the point. He cannot. We can't do it. Who we gonna do it with? We didn't do it. He did it. The players can do it, not the coaches. He did it. Coaches can't do nothing. But it's receive and decline players. But when all your players gone because you thought you had your running back, it was like they say it was other running backs in the Porter. If he didn't want to come, they could have pursued somebody else. But he wait till the Porter closed and all the running backs gone, and then he turn around and leave you with a bunch of freshman running backs. Now they got to grow up real fast. He screwed over Deion Sanders. He got a lot. Deion can put the word out on him. He probably should, because you screwed him over bad. I mean, we can flip a running back. Who we gonna flip? That ain't already looking at us. See, he was already looking at Ole Miss. He was already in Mississippi State. He was already in Mississippi. That's what he wanted to do. He should have stayed down there. We can go flip a player. Who does that? But first of all, this whole video has been about what people do to us that they don't do to nobody else. That's basically illegal when it comes to the coaching fraternity. You don't go and steal people players. It's only okay to do it to Coach Prime. Why would you think Coach Prime would do some crap like that? If that was the case, he would have been doing it. He ain't into going doing no low down dirty stuff like that, stealing people players off their roster. When they was competing for players and while they was in the portal, before they committed or while they was in the process, I'm looking at that school, I'm looking at that school. You fair game. But here it is, week before summer session start. That's not what you do. You don't do that dirty stuff. I mean, he going down there, like I said, he going down there with 3 other running backs who are all SEC running backs. And all they're going to do is throw in his face, you did it at the lower level. These guys are more proven. He had more yards. They can say he did it at a lower level. They can say he had more touchdowns. They can say he did it at a lower level. But all them boys had higher yards per average than him. So he in for a running. And it can prove to be a dumb decision. I remember when Shane Hooks went to going to Ole Miss. He go to Ole Miss too, and then he tried to go to Auburn, and we ain't heard from Shane Hooks then. Shane Hooks from Jackson State. I don't know, maybe Coach Prime didn't want him, but we wanted a big receiver before we went and got Jaden Antonio. And Hooks like he gonna go to Mississippi, Ole Miss, wherever he went. Then he went to Auburn. He's destroyed himself. I think this boy could be doing the same thing. And we'll see him back in the portal next year because he'll be trying to get a 5th year. He was a premier running back. He's not going to be the premier running back at Ole Miss, coming from a lower level with them proven SEC running backs there. He's going to have to really fight for it. It was basically in his hand here. They're going to transfer how many times? No, man, everybody can transfer. They changed it back. The only thing about a grad transfer is, like during this off season, I believe they might change that rule too. I think that you can't lock down a grad person. You know, they keep changing the rules. Oh, these linemen is a fullback. You know what? You right on point. You right on point. This is good, East Coast Kel. I wanted to say this, and I kind of said it. Put Pearson back down the backfield. Pearson was a two-sided player. They moved him to linebacker last year. This year they moved him back to tight end. He's not a tight end. He's 6'2", 230. He's big as old boy. And I said we need to line him up in the backfield as a fullback. He can go lead block. I mean, anybody that follow me, I've been saying it. Pearson, he number 37, got a running back number. Put him in the backfield, line him up as a lead blocker. Also, he can run routes out the backfield because he's working with tight ends. He's an athlete. He's probably a better athlete on offense. He was. Look at his film. He can go down the field and catch, but he built like a fullback, running back, but he was playing tight end in high school and linebacker. So you right on point. They definitely better be looking to put Pearson in the backfield as a fullback. I don't say it. I hope somebody get it. Pearson. Everybody spread it all over Twitter. Put it out there. Pearson need to be in that backfield. Pearson is the same size. He ain't the same style of running back, same quality. But if we need size in that backfield to block, and we need somebody that can run the ball, Pearson definitely can do it. And he's been working with his ball skills because he's been working with the tight ends all offseason. So he can catch balls out the backfield. He can block. And I know he can run the ball because I've seen him run the ball in high school. So that's a good one. That's a real good one. Pearson. Remember the name, Pearson. They got him like third or fourth on the linebacker chart. I mean, on tight end chart. Put him in the backfield. Well, he showed it too. They better put a limit on how many commits you make. It's going to be a farce. Yeah, we just talking about a bigger back for, short yardage and for blocking. And we're going to have to pull from within than the portal. And Pearson is definitely one of the people we can pull. He got the size. He got he been in college for a year. He ain't a freshman. He's not afraid of contact. He's our guy. And then go ahead and put him all over in the backfield. He can catch. He can run. Hey, he better make it. We're not talking about little skinny running backs. Hodge probably do some stuff. Cam, I think they said Cam going to be on the defensive side, possibly, primarily. And Hodge was already on the defensive side. Remember, Hodge was a receiver. We moved to DB. And then for the spring game, he came back. So both of them guys are defensive guys. He might be over here now, but he's a little dude. We talking about a big running back. Little dude doesn't replace Amos. Yeah, Pearson. He was one of the guys. Him and Pearson and looking at 13. I'm tripping. We moved one of our defensive linemen and Pearson. Y'all help me out. My brain just froze up. Pearson and my 13 moved to tight end. They transferred him over. Savion would have had his shot. Savion got cold feet, man. And he had Georgia State. Savion usually, Savion usually would stick around. Amos anyway. Yeah, I mean he may be a more versatile running back than Amos, but we definitely had the size. Improved. The only problem we'll see you. Yeah, I mean they got a bunch of freshmen at this point. We went from some guys returning. Yeah, Smalls. We went from a room with a lot of returning guys who we knew, and they were kind of unproven because Dylan didn't get a lot of touches, but we knew them. And McCaskill, we was hoping he would come back injury free, and we knew Savion. We went from that to okay, boom, we got some bigger running backs. Our room is bigger. We got two experienced, kind of experienced guys. One kind of, he didn't have a lot of experience, but he had some college experience. And then we had a bunch of two freshmen come in. So it was a balanced room, the future and the current. Now we back to boom, all unexperienced running backs because now Hayden is considered the most experienced. And he only got a handful of carries last year. So he's basically a freshman. And then we got a bunch of true freshmen. What's good for Micah is Micah actually played in off season. I mean, he came early, so that benefits him some, like what Dylan did last year. I mean, our room it would be better because we had Hankerson in the backfield. McCaskill was hurt. Dylan was a freshman, and Savion was a transfer. Dylan was light. He's fast, but he was light, so he wasn't an all-purpose. But I mean, he wasn't a pure running back. McCaskill was hurt, which we was depending on being that guy. So we had to depend on Hankerson, and it was like, So I mean, you really swap Hankerson for Hayden, then you say Hayden's better, then yeah. But then we replaced Dylan. We didn't really use Dylan, so we didn't lose that much like that. We lost what we could have did with Dylan, but we didn't actually lose Dylan because we didn't use him effectively anyway. So, you know, all of them was too small. All of them was short. All of them was like 200 pounds less. I mean, and the line was leaving a dump truck hole for somebody to run through. It's harder to run through a closed gap full speed than a hole wide open. So you really leaving your running back out there to dry when he got a block of man coming full speed. He didn't have to slow down at all. He didn't have to squeeze through no hole. He just ran through there like nobody was there. That's a hard block to pick up for anybody, especially when you're already smaller than the guy. They ain't letting you cut block no more. So, I think we still have. I mean, I think our offense is still solid. It depends on our run game. It was certain with these with this depth at running back. It was a certainty as far as the offense of what it could do. The running backs, the line, everything's still strong. You just got to adjust right there. Defense is still strong. So I think they still got a good chance to take it. But like I said, they knew they gave that running back. That's exactly what CU needed. That was going to be the end. And they knew that. And they took them. That's why you see this weird thing like the portal closed. You don't think nobody leaving. When does that happen? Outside of some crazy stuff. You just leave before you came. That sounds like some good old boys behind the system saying, we got to make this move. He get this running back. We can't do nothing. To his blockers. He wasn't reading. He said, I saw untouched getting players untouched last year. Yes, we did. Yep. Then he say can break an arm tackle. No, they were clotheslining him. They arm was one arm was way more than Dylan. It was a problem for Dylan. He was too light. They back coming and watch Tuesday. Let's see. I also hear a rumor of somebody they're trying to take another player off the team who's supposed to be. So that's what another creator said. They say some rumor around there, another high-profile athlete. Of course, not Travis Hunter. So it's like, but whatever that means, somebody's won another player. Now I don't know how that will work unless he's also he has to be also another person who transferred in because if the portal's closed, it can't be a player from last year. That's how I use my common sense. It can't be another portal player. I mean, it can't be a player who's on the roster last year because you can't enter the portal. So it had to be somebody who came over within the portal that can lead back out. It has to be that to me, or a grad person maybe. I don't know. So that's another rumor going around about it. Somebody else is trying to woo him out. But we will see. We will see if we get another running back. We're gonna need it for depth. We saw, like I said, with 2 running backs got hurt for the spring game at the same time. It's possible to have 2 running backs out. You got to have that depth at running back, and you got to keep them fresh because you can lose 2-3 running backs just off of twisted ankle or sore knee sprain or something for a couple weeks, and you don't want to be tomorrow. All right, Hodge, let's go back. All right, Hodge, come on back in here. And run out of tailback. No. So that's where we at, y'all. We know what we up against. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. I'm going to cut this thing. We're going to have a good time. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. So y'all be back with us. Clearly, Colorado, it ain't slowing down. Closer it get to the season, the hotter it's going to get. It's going to get real spicy. I like when y'all come in and talk. We're going to have a lot to talk about. So make sure y'all have the like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you'll know what's coming up. Because it will have to be. We will see. We will see. Yeah. Well, I don't think he's a high-profile tight end. Yeah, all that's true. But we're gonna be watching, so make sure y'all here. I appreciate y'all coming through. Y'all Lose some just weight. Okay. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate y'all.